It looks like a very simple organ. You know, you go to the restaurant, you have a calf's liver, it doesn't look very much, but actually it's a beautiful piece of engineering. And the idea of having a virtual liver is to try and understand that complexity and to be able to run experiments much more effectively. What we're trying to do, in the same way as the virtual heart or the virtual lung or whatever it is create a representation of human liver physiology, not reproduce it. It won't be complete. It'll be a representation that is enough for us to be able confidently to generate testable hypotheses that are realistic in human physiology. And that's the aim. That's why it's virtual, and that's why it's the liver. The liver, it principally is very important for a number of reasons. One, it's the principal organ of the body that handles anything to do with detoxification. You know, if you have drugs or if you take alcohol or whatever it may be, the liver handles the delivery of non-natural substances and helps the body to deal with them. It's the liver that essentially is our first line of defense in dealing with that. And in that sense, being able to understand how it functions and being able to understand what goes wrong when it goes wrong and to do something about it is of critical importance. Probably one of the most significant areas and reasons why new medicines fail to get to the marketplace is that very often you get liver toxicity with new medicines, new drugs that are being developed by pharmaceutical companies. And it's very, very hard for toxicologists and pharmaceutical scientists to be able to predict from the studies that they do currently when that's going to happen or when it's going to go wrong. So I think if you have a model or a series of models that represent human physiology, one of the simulations that you could run is to interrogate those models with the substances that you're trying to develop and ask the model to say what would be the outcome, how would this particular compound or this particular medicine be handled by the liver, what are the potential dangers that might emerge. A lot of these experiments will have a long-term benefit, or these processes will have a long-term benefit in helping us shape economics, the health economics, and how we treat patients. And that may take a bit of time, but right now I think there are a number of things that we can do. It will help us to look at existing experiments and try and optimize the way we do experiments, the way we run animal models, animal testing in pharmaceutical companies, the way we design clinical trials, because you can simulate some of those things beforehand and design your experiment in a different way so that it's much more effective and much more efficient. The program is 5 years. We have a review after year 3 to look at progress. It's unrealistic to expect we will have a virtual liver at the end of 5 years. Let me say that right at the outset. I think we will have some very good data, we will have some very good representations and some very good simulations that will help us deliver some data that will have an impact on human health, albeit perhaps very small. But nevertheless, it will be proving that systems approaches can have an impact in a way that hasn't been done really very effectively so far. This is a unique program in the way that it's the only program that I'm aware of that is focused in one country on one organ at this level of funding across the entire range of complexity. Nobody's done that before in one single territory. And in that sense, it offers the potential for a paradigm shift in how we understand human biology and physiology, at least in the liver, and how it can have an impact on human health. That's very important.